Hello, Anvesh sir, Mr. Anvesh ji,
Yeah,
am I audible? Am I
yeah, you are
audible?
audible.
So, shall we start, sir? Anvesh sir?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay, good afternoon, all the participants. Our session 8 will be start, and our eminent speaker is Mr. Anvesh Pandey. So he will start his session, and his session is about OpenCV. Okay, so we are eagerly waiting for you, sir, Anvesh sir, and over to you, sir.
Okay,
You can start, sir. Okay,
okay, thank you. So,
okay,
as far as we have all attended lots of sessions of AI and machine learning, so you might be having some knowledge about AI and machine learning, right? So, whenever we think or whenever we hear about artificial intelligence, okay, the two things that comes in our mind, what is artificial and second is intelligence. आर्टिफिशियल हिंदी में जैसे सब बोलते हैं बनावटी, अरे इंटेलिजेंस मतलब बुद्धि. So whenever we see that artificial intelligence, I preferably say artificial intelligence is a child, a born child. Whatever you are going to give him, it will accept as an input and it will give the output as you wanted. आपने छोटे बच्चों को देखा होगा कि उनको जो चीज आप दिखाते हैं और बताते हैं वो सिर्फ उसी को जानते हैं. आप बच्चों को देखे होंगे कि उनको सिखाया जाता है कि ये एप्पल है, इसका कलर लाल है, तो उसे लाल बोलते हैं. तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज सेम एज अ न्यू बॉर्न बेबी who is trying to speak or trying to learn something. So as far as you have gone through all this session, let's start. And I'm sharing my screen, right? So you all go there. Wait a minute. Share. Is my screen is shared? Do you know?
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Screen is shared, sir.
Oh,
Screen has been shared.
okay.
Yes, sir. Shared, sir.
Okay. So, we are looking at someone artificial intelligence, what it looking at all the questions. So artificial intelligence, when we see, many of you have gone through the web series, right? Name is Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is a kind of character. Whenever he goes somewhere, it looks at the every places and detects everything. But every keen and fine stuff he gets, and it solves its cases. So as far as we are going to talk about the image processing, face detection, and face recognition, I just want to say everyone, don't go to the bookish knowledge. Okay, you just flow your brain up and see like you are Sherlock Holmes or you are Tony Stark, right? So what are the stuffs that you can do with image processing? So I'm starting my chat. Okay, I just want to know what do you all know about image processing? So where is chat box? Yeah. So I'm opening my chat box. What do you think about image processing? I just want to know from the related people around here. What do you know about image processing, or what do you think about image processing?
Anyone participants?
Or you can just open your mic, and if you are not willing to chat, you can open your mic and say that. Because I just want to make it interactive rather than listening and not doing something. Okay. So,
No, certainly, sir.
oh, it's okay. Let's move forward. If anyone has any query, you can talk to me. Okay. So let's share this screen. I think there is some image processing is the method of performing operations on the images in order to. Yeah, it is image processing. Yeah, image processing is put the low. Yeah. That is the stuff that are we everyone know that. What is image processing? What I think, what you should think, image processing is processing a particular image and analyzing and getting everything from it. Everything means how image processing is. Whenever you process something, you extract all the information from it, or every keen information, right? So we are going for the image processing. Don't try not to give all the theoretical aspects. Okay, you just go and think about the far image, like what can we do. Yeah, the image processing, like one of the sir has told that is the processing of the image, manipulating the digital image, especially ordered in improve the quality. Okay. Now OpenCV, for the image processing, OpenCV works as a library. Library means having lots of stuff that are going to help you to analyze and compute the data from the images. So far going from this you can see the grayscaling. The most important thing whenever we go for the image processing, whenever we do a coding in the artificial intelligence or Python and OpenCV, one thing comes in the mind. Whenever you go, it changes from BG RGB to grayscaling. There are the three main parameters. The three main importance of the grayscaling is that for the dimension reduction. Whenever you go for the grayscaling, the RGB color has the 3-channel dimension and the grayscaling have a single dimension. So the problem is that whenever you are doing a coding or whenever you are going for the complex models, the RGB color is problematic or complex. Let's go for the coding and I will tell you there what we're going to do it. So let's code for the grayscaling, right? It's a image processing. So we are going to do it. Wait a minute. Where's this video? So going for it because when I will be opening my camera, it's going to disturb it a little bit. So I'm going for the coding and I'm going to elaborate to everything. Right? So first we are going to start for the importing CV2 module. Right. It will help you like OpenCV, as we know that it helps to function. It will give you all the modules to interact or process the image processing, right? Then we'll take a parameter like image or variable, and then we are going to call CV2 I am read an image so here what we are doing that in CV2 we have a function called IAMRead. The IAMRead is used to extract the image from your file. As far as I am having the image in the same file where the image in the same file where this page is set, the Py extension page is saved. Okay. So we have taken the image. Now we will take CV2 and we are going to show it how the image looks. Wait a minute, it's that, yeah. I need to write it again. CV2 dot I am show image, comma, image. Yeah. So you can see that this is how we can upload the image using the OpenCV. So these are the basics coding. Okay, so we are going to now going for the grayscale. What we can do with the grayscale, as we can see that this is a colorful image. This is a colorful image, and now we are going for the grayscaling. So while doing the grayscaling, the main factor, when I was doing the grayscaling, I just thought, why are we using the grayscaling? It's not used to, because it's give only the black and white. The color is between the black and the gray. So what is the need of having the grayscaling? But while doing the process of converting or making some modules that are more complex, that are more complex, where the data are large enough to compute, the dimension that I got was way beyond the limits, and it was not easy to compute there. So the grayscaling help us to reduce the dimension rather than affecting the integrity of that image. So while performing that, let's do it, and we'll be knowing that how it is works. Great. So here what we are doing, we are taking a source. Okay, this is a source where the image you got from, and we are going to CV to color, and we are going to BGR to gray. So this is like that, and we are going to show it. So we are just going to copy this, copy it, and we are going to paste it, and we are just going to change the name. It will be gray underscore image. It will be gray underscore image. So this is what happening. The image, the gray image underscore image, is going through the IMShow. IMShow is a module that will help you to show the image like earlier. Okay. So now if we are having this image that is grayscale, right? So the difference is the screen, the grayscale and the BGR color is the color and the BGR are different. They are having the different values. Now, when I thought that, what is this BGR and color? So now I'm going to show you something that's quite interesting. Let's print the shape of the image, so we can know that what is the difference. What is the difference between this and this? Okay, so let's print the shape of this image. This is the original image. Okay, so as we are printing the BGR, the gray image, we can see that the BGR having the three values, 800, 600, and 3. And by multiplying it all, we get, while multiplying it 2, we get 4800, like 4,80,000. And in the BGR, the value becomes 3 times the gray. Let me show you how it becomes. Now, putting this thing, gray. This goes so you can see that the difference between the value in the BGR RGB is 3 times the value in the gray scale. So while coming back to the presentation, I just want to know what do you think about what is happening here, what is the purpose, or how we can do it, what is the plus point, or what is the beneficiary of converting BGR to gray? Anyone? You can use your mic. I don't have any problem with that. If anyone wants to, I can give you 2 minutes. Okay, so you're not having any questions regarding this. Okay, let's move forward. So the main phenomena of grayscaling is that whenever you are, for example, when I was developing a detection model, the mass detection model, when I was using the RGB color modules are much more complex. Whenever you are going to use the model, you are going to develop some model, it will comes in millions. The values, if you are going to use n numbers of images, it will cross the limits, and the processing of your system decreases. So as far as you need to compute, because at that time you only need to compute the image, or need to analyze the data from it. So at that time the grayscaling helps you, because the integrity of the data is not distorted, only the color changes, so the information from the data is always the same. So for the most of the time the grayscaling is used behind the bar, means while performing the modules or creating some modules, the grayscaling is widely used. Now we'll look for, this is how the input we have computed it, and we have performed the coding, right? So it is input and output, the RGB to gray. Okay. Image blurring. So these are the process that we are going to doing under the image processing. First is we have done for the grayscaling, the most and the important factor. Grayscaling is widely used. So, and now image blurring. So can anyone, I just want to know, can anyone tell me what is the need of blurring something? Does it make any sense? Why blurring is needed? Why you need to blur something? It is given, but why it is needed? Anyone think if something quite interesting or other than anything? Okay. Okay, so you don't have any questions right now. Okay, so we are going to do this questionnaire at the end of the session, but it would be more interactive if you ask any questions in between. So okay, so let's go without breaking the flow. Okay. The basic of blurring is, there are many times when the police stations or the policemen or the does the blur the face of the criminal, or whenever, most of the time when you see some videos, the blurring is done at the face of something, or something is blurred to prevent something, like here written in the last example, it helps in the hiding the details when necessary. For example, in many cases police deliberately wants to hide the face of the victim. In such cases blurring required, or low intensity edge are removed. It helps to smoothening the images. It helps to noise the removal, as noise is considered as a high. So there are many uses of blurring something. So let's go on and look how blurring is done. The one of the techniques of blurring is Gaussian blurring. So you can see that you are having a ball, and whenever you are blurring it, the ball remains the same and the rest of the stuff get blurred out. So this is one of the technique of blurring something. And the next one is median blurring, where all the spots, yes, you can see that the median blurring is non-linear digital filtering technique. Non-linear means you are not going in the same sequence, so you are not getting it in the same line of sequence, or so it's not linear, so randomly you can blur the parts of different. So filtering is often used to remove the noise from the image or the signal. Median filtering is very widely used digital image processing because under the certain condition. So this is the image of the median blurring and bilateral blurring. Bilateral blurring is same as non-linear edge preventing. Whenever we say edge preventing, these sections, you can see my cursor, these sections are prevented the more. So we are going to check all this by coding some, and this is denoise. We are going to do it laterwards. So let's do blurring. So for the blurring, we need to do the coding same as we have done earlier. But why to code more when you have some code left? Okay. That's the detection one. Yeah. So we can do here. Here we are having an image, and we have read it in a variable. So let's erase it all. And let's start. So as we are having a variable, but in this we are going to plot it, so we need a numpy here. Most of you have known the numpy. It's used for plotting something in the Python. Numpy as np, cv2 image. So we are having an image here. So now we do that. We need a Gaussian. The first one was, I think, Gaussian. Yeah. We need the Gauss, and we go for the cv2 dot Gaussian blur g. Here it comes, Gaussian blur. And now we want to feed the attributes. Image, comma. Let's take 7, and now, yeah. So let's take the image what we have seen in the slides. So I'm going to erase it, and let's look what is the name of that image. Gauss, G-A-U-S, JPEG. So it's JPG image. So we know that this is. So I am sure now we are going to show it as we have shown it previously. The CV2 is used to show CV2 I am show, and we are going to show the Gauss. We are going to show the Gauss because the blurred image of this, the blurred image from this is going to be clear. Okay, so we are going to code it. First, you can say that GAU Gaussian, comma. So you can see that everything is blurred. Everything is blurred, like previous we have seen in the photo. So let's print this image also. Okay. image. So you can see that the difference between the two images. This is the original image and this is the blurred image. So the rest of the portion rather than this is more blurred. So you can see the difference between the two images. So it is a type of image blurring technique known as the Gauss blurring. Now let me explain you the attribute, the most important part. Whenever you are performing or creating a model, this is the most important thing in the image processing. This stuff, this thing is the source from where you are taking the image, because the variable here is acting as the source. Okay, and this and this are the standard deviation. How much the blurring will deviate around x-axis and around the y-axis. And this is the filtering, means the image, the size of the image. Like let me run it again. And so the filtering around section is set as a 0 because we are going to, yeah. So this the last attribute 0. Okay, it acts as a kernel request. Okay, which generates a blurring position which helps this section not to blur as much as the other section. Okay, so you must need to do, or you need to check what are you going to feed in, because for every image you can change this thing as far as you want to, or whatever your ambition is to change it or generate something more blurry, or if the image size is more, because most of the time the image size is different or the quality of the image is different. As far as you have seen, this blurring of the image is quite more popular in the phones, because whenever we are using the n numbers of type of phones, they are coming with 64 megapixel cameras, 128 megapixel cameras, 108 megapixel camera. But the truth behind is that they all are based on artificial intelligence. Whatever image you are taking it or capturing it as the input is further than artificial intelligence. In the terms of artificial intelligence, it's then blurred out or corrected or processed under the process of image processing. All the processing are done in the air, so it's not about the camera pixels or the lenses, because most of the time the lenses are not up to the mark, but the processing behind the lenses improves the quality of the image. So now we are going for the next blurring. What was that? That was median blur. So let's change the name. Media. You can take any variable, it doesn't matter, because the variable is, you can take a single word also. Yeah. Going to take it. So we are going to take median blur, and here we have only one attribute, not at all the attributes. So I'm going to take all the same images that I am projecting in my slides. So what is the next image for the, it was med.jpg. So let's go for that. So we are going to take med. So you can see I have cropped all the images to let you know about what's going behind the output scene. Okay. Then you can type median or XYZ, whatever you want, but it looks cool when you elaborate it. So that's done. So here we need, there are two attributes. So here we need that. So we'll take it 5 because this here this last time we have done the last attribute of the Gaussian, the kernel size. This is the kernel size in the median. In the median, we need how median is calculated the same way the image processing is done in median blurring. Right. So let's. We have done it. Yeah. So you can see that this was the image, the original image, and this was the median blurred image. As we know that median is non-linear, so randomly it can go from anywhere, and the main part is that clearing all the undesired stuff that you look here. Okay, so it is same, it works as the same, it's quite simple. So most of the time you can use while if you're creating a model where there are some images that are blurred or they are distorted, you can use this type of image blurring techniques. Okay, so let's eliminate it. So in the median blurring, the best thing is that you have only one extra attribute, that is the kernel size. So the kernel size determines how much filtration or the how much blurring will be done in the image. Okay, the third and the last one is bilateral blur. Yeah, bilateral blur. So we are going to just change the name. We just don't need to, but okay. Bilateral blur, and we are having an image known as, where's that image? Yeah, bill.jpg. Okay. We are going to erase this function from the bilateral filter. In the bilateral filter, we are having at least 3 more attributes, and the source one 2 9 75. Okay, yeah. So we are going to change it here also, bilateral. Yeah. So the main image is bill. So in the bilateral, let's first run it, and then I'm going to explain it to you. Okay. Yeah. Median is this image. Why it's going here? Where's that image? So you can see here the bilateral image is, the original image is distorted, and there is less smoothing in this image. While when you see this median image, the smoothing is increased. The distortion is reduced because of blurring. It's not clearing the noise, but it is just blurring it and creating a layer of blur over it. So this is, at least it is bilateral, as if its name is median overprinted there, because I have said that you can take any of thing because it is only the string, a string that is passed through the IM-show process. So these are the main 3 image processing that you will go through while performing or creating any. If you're going image processing, you're going to cross these 3. I can tell you definitely you are going to cross through these three things, because this is the most common issues. When I was performing some of the codings and was creating some of the models, these are the most uh, common issues that I face, because whenever you are dealing with n numbers of images and you are going to perform n number of functions on it, you are going to get some of the image or most of the images that are blur. So you need to perform these type of functions to reduce or increase your efficiency. Rather than whenever you are creating a model, you need to know one thing clearly. Whenever you are creating a model, the data set should be clear, because in Python or in machine learning, because all the models are created in the machine learning. So whenever you are creating a model, the data is specified. Like if you are having a data of like mass detection, for example, you are doing a mass detection, so there are number of photos that will be of unmasked people, and there are a number of people photos that will be of masked people. So if some of the photos are blurred, then it will reduce the efficiency of the model. Other rather than you are having n number of data of the unmasked and masked people, then also you will going to get problem there. So these three will come across whenever you are going for the image. And the next thing we are going to look after for the image processing is denoising. So you can look at the picture how the denoising is done. The all the noise here, the that is affecting the integrity of that image is going to be reduced. So let's go for this coding, and let me tell you or display you how it is done. So we can do here only because we have the code. So because we have that image, and we have inserted it, so let's do it here only. These two things are like image show. You can take it, you don't need to write it again and again, because it's just displaying it. It is the type how OpenCV2 works, and it helps you to show the image. And in the NumPy, when you can plot it also, but it is not widely done because it doesn't looks good. While doing the comparisons of the small images, it is done, but you can go with the OpenCV and show like I am show and use this variable. So like that. So let's go for the denoising the stuff, like how can we denoise it and how it gonna help it. So let's do it. So yeah. So I have talked about plotting. So let's get it and plot this, because the same that we have seen the image, both the sides. So let's plot it. So we are going to import one another from matplotlib. Okay, so we are going to matplotlib, and we are going to import some of the modules like pyplot, and now okay. So we are having an image. We are going to change the image the same as it was in the slide. We are going to get the same image, and there is D10. Okay. Denoising image. Okay. So we are having that image in the image variable, and we have imported all the modules. Now what we have to do, we have to create a variable where the denoised image will be placed. So we are going to open CV2. CV2 is the extension. So it helps you to call the function that will help you denoise fast. So you can see that while doing it, we can get denoise meaning. So the best thing is that when you are having some modules in your editor, it just displays. So we need to do for the colored one. Okay, so we are going for the colored one. We are having the colored image, so we are going for the colored one. Okay, now we are going to put some attributes, because every function. So if you are having this, you can see that we are having the attribute. So we are having source, destination, edge color, template. So while putting it, I'm gonna tell you about everything after performing the image. This is the source image from where I am getting it. Okay, and then this is the destination, because I don't want any destination. I'm going to put it here only. So this is like that, and we can take 7. It will be great. Okay. So now we are going to plot it. For plotting, we need plot function plt, and we are going to call the function from plot modules subplot 1 to 1 plot dot image I am show bracket, and we are going to plot the original image, that is image, and I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to changing this, because you can put the same image one over another. They should be separated. So we can do this, and now I am show. Now I'm going to show the denoised image. So there is no need for that. So we can do this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've missed the plot P right here. Yes. While performing coding live, sometime it happens that you just miss some alphabets and created a mess. Wait a minute. Plot. Let me save it and close it. Let's use I am show and perform it. I don't know how it's not giving an error.
Artificial intelligence, and the last one is role of artificial intelligence and neural network. Thank you.
I think someone's mic is on, so
Yes.
so it will be better that if you. Let me show you image. Same variable that is having the original image and distorted denoise image, original image, and denoise image. So you can see that this image, the original image is quite more distorted. and the blurred image, the denoised image. The denoising is done here, right? So the cap, the upper cap is more smoother than the noised image. So this is how it is done, and you can perform it while using by changing the values. Okay, you can, by changing the values, you can adjust according to your wish, or whatever the type of image is, you can do it. Okay, so this is how the distorting, denoising is done. So anyone having any questions regarding image processing? So if not, then I will be going forward for that, for next, for the next topic. So if anyone is having, you can text me or call, send a message on the chat box. I'm
Yes.
giving you 2 minutes time. You
Any
can,
participant has any question, they can query it, okay? Or you can post your question in chat box. Any participant? I think, sir. Sir, you can continue, sir.
okay.
Okay.
The next thing, we are directly going towards detection. Okay, face recognition and detection, the most important topic and the most known topic. How the detection is done, we know that while using your mobile cameras and phones everywhere, your face has been detected by a square bracket. So for this Harkisket file is widely used. It is a machine learning. It is a trained model. You can say like trained model is that it is that, and there are two type of images are placed there: positive images or negative images. The both images are like that. The positive images is a type of image that you want to detect, and the negative images are all the images that you don't want to. So you create a set of images that you don't want to and put it in a variable that is a negative variable, and the positive images, all the images that you want to detect. So let's go directly, then we are going to talk about what is face. So let me show you how it is done, how the face recognition is done. So I think time is less for me. So let's just run it, and I'm going to show you how it is done. Face recognition, face detection, sorry. And then I'm going to tell you how the code runs. So you can see that the box is created around my head. So it is detecting my face, and it's only detecting my face. It doesn't say that I am someone or somewhat like that. So it is quite simple. So let me tell you about how it is done. Okay, I have paused my video in the Google Meet because the camera is, I'm having the same camera, right? Yeah, I'm having only the laptop camera. I'm not having, while performing there, I can't use this camera. It will generate an error. Okay, so let me tell you how it is, how it works, right? Let me close it. So the detection is done like that. The classifier, it is also a package used in OpenCV that uses a Harkes frontal face. If you want this type of modules that will help you to detect something, I will be sending you in the mails. The Harket's frontal face modules is used, and is loaded in a variable called face cascade. Here we are using a function of video capture which helps me to open my camera, and here you can see that image cap read. So we all know that the image or the video we used to see is in the forms of frames. Many of you have seen the doodles, the cartoon that many people make in the small copies, and then they play the copy like they just taught it, and one by one when the page goes on with the smooth and the speed, it looks like a video. The same thing happens when we record a video. The difference is the frame changing places is quite more fast. You can't imagine it, right? So it happens like that. So the each frame is going to be placed in this variable that is called image. Then what I have done, look this, I'm flipping the image. So let's make it as a comment, and I'm going to let you know what is done if I have not flipped it. Okay, function F5. So you can see I'm raising my this hand, but the image is flipped. I'm here raising my right hand, and I'm totally flipped. When I raise my left hand this side, and it looks like this side. So basically, the position of my both hands are changed in the screen. So you need to flip it to get the correct position, right? So that's why it is widely used, because by default the screen is flipped. By default the screen is filled whenever you are going to code something or create some models in the artificial intelligence or whatever related to the video processing. Every time you need to flip the screen. It is by default. So you need to make it clear. Okay. Now, earlier we have talked about the grayscaling. Here it is also used because you are creating a model that is detecting something. So I said you that this is the most important and most important thing, because while creating any model or any something, whatever you want, you need to do that. You need to convert the BGR to grayscale or RGB to grayscale, because it helps you to decrease the complexity, because while performing n number of frames per second, you need to decrease the complexity and enhance your efficiency. So this is the most important and one of the most important stuff while you are talking about the image processing or video processing, or you are creating a surveillance system, whatever it is. Okay, so this is the main. And now this is the part, this is the function that is called for detection. As we can know, the face cascade, we have called this model, and we have taken this model in the face cascade, and from that model we are calling the detect multiple scales. We have gray, because gray is what? It's a variable having the frames that are converted from BGR to gray. Okay, and we are going to detect it in this dimension. Now we are having a for loop, basic for loop, and we are creating a rectangle, as you can see, as you have saw. So x and y axis, x plus w is the width. How much width would be of the box, and x plus h is the height. This 25 25 25 0 is the color, whatever color it was, like blue I think, and the 2 is the width of the border. So let me run it again, and I'm going to show you. So you can see that the width, the height is whatever you see, the h is the height and the width, and the border, the density of the border is the 2. So you can increase the density of the border or decrease the density of the border. So let's see that. If you want to do like 3, so you can see the density of the border has increased, right? So this type of stuff you can do with the detection. Okay, yeah. So this is how the detection is done in the AI, artificial intelligence. It is widely used and it is the most simplest way, and it is widely used when we are using the camera. Then you have seen that box comes around in the screen while detecting, while you are detecting something. Okay, so and then I was having one face recognition plus detection, but the time is running out, I think. But let me show you how it goes, how it works. It takes a lot of time because computing in a simple laptop and having such much raw coding leads to a lot of problems. Yeah, so you can see that it is detecting me. Okay, it is detecting me, but the processing is so much slow that the frames per second is high. As far as frame per second is high, the processing becomes a problem for it. And if you don't look at my videos, you just look this section, you can see that whenever I move the printing from what is the width where I am from the right side, from the bottom and the top and the left, everything means it analyzes everything. The face recognition, it analyzes everything. Where are you from the right of the corner, from the left of the corner, and it is quite efficient. I can tell you it is quite efficient, because it's not that I am here that so it's going to take my image only. I can tell you with my image, I'm having some photograph, and I'm going to let you like I'm not there, but then also it will, like I'm having one of my colleagues' photos, so it will detect. It say that unknown. Okay, so and one more photo, one weird one of mine, where it is quite impossible to detect that I am here only, but then also it's going to detect me also. So these are the working projects you can go for, and it's time is, I think I am quite away from the limits, right? So anyone having any query about face recognition or detection, you can tell me, because I am done with my work. And if anyone is having any query,
Does
any
anyone has any
query,
query?
or anyone want to know how it is done or whatever.
Is anyone is having any query? Participants, dear participants.
Because as far as this processing is, that you can learn it from the 1 hour session, because it takes a lot of time, and I tried to summarize it, but I know that it's not possible.
Sir, exactly. I want to know whatever
Yeah,
you have explained. I
yeah,
understand. But
yeah.
suppose I want to learn it. So, what is the source?
Sir, basically the source is that you need to go from the basics. Okay, and you can go from you if you don't know the Python, you can go from the W3 school. It is the basic thing. Okay,
Okay.
then in the Udemy there are a lot of professors that are teaching there. You can go over there, and the basics of this Python or machine learning you will know from there only. And you can use the net, Google it, because it is quite easy. It will take some time to understand, but it is quite easy for you. Or you can text me or mail me. I can give you the links where you can go and search for it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. So we have a question in the list like, sir, in the grayscale set, you said earlier reduce the complexity, and yeah. So earlier you have seen that when I printed the output, there are 3 dimension in RGB. It was like 800, 600, and 3. And when we go for the grayscale, it was only 800 and 600. The third dimension was reduced. So basically the fact is that the RGB gives the value of the output 3 times more than the grayscale. So most of the models doesn't use, most of maximum model doesn't use grayscale RGB for the processing. So they use grayscale. So I think your answer is or Shifali Soni. Yeah. So anyone, any questions or anything? So I'm stop presenting my screen. Right. So if anyone has any question, you can ask me.
Is any participant, is anyone is having a question? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One question.
Sampling and quantization. I don't think, can you elaborate what are you trying to say? Sampling means sampling of data or what? Nitish Nima. Okay, sampling basically means you don't go away from the topic. Means sampling is basically sampling. If when I was talking about the data like mass detection, whatever type of data is the sampling. Whatever type of data, you just need to do 2 types of data. In the image, you need to know that whatever you want to get from the system, you need to give it in one variable, and whatever you don't want from the system, you give it into another variable, and you need to compare it. So there are different types of algorithm like KNN, nearest algorithm. It is widely used in the Amazon. They use as KNN algorithm for the separation of the data that are for their use and are not for their use. So you can you can see that sampling and quantization is like that only. The desired data that you want and with the desired data you don't want, you compare it and train your model. So I think you might be clear with your doubt. Anyone else? Oh, no. Okay. Thank you. So we must end it, right?
So, Anvesh sir.
Yeah.
Anvesh sir, thank you so much, sir. It was really a very wonderful session, sir.
I am obliged.
Actually, I was really eagerly waiting for your lab session, and the lab session was really very fantastic, sir. Really, very good. Means
because we are not having the time, because I was going to elaborate the detection and the recognition, but due to the lack of time, we can't go. I know that, but it was okay. Yeah.
Yes, no, sir. We will definitely invite you for our second FDP or some type of second webinar workshop.
Oh,
We will definitely invite you.
Okay.
So
That's
we
my
hope
pleasure.
that you have a it, sir. And
Yeah.
okay,
Yes,
sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Dear participant, please kindly join tomorrow for our next session. Okay. And please fill the feedback form. Thank you so much. Thank you all the participants. We will join tomorrow. Thank you so much.